Hello everyone, good evening. I want to thank everyone to be here and for those watchers online one more time. I hope I be enlightened and receiving God's guidance to transmit what I have to say. And you guys can take the words if it's good. If it's not good, delete. But I'm here and I'll try to do my best to touch you guys and share what I have to say here, what I have learned. So our theme, our subject is Spiritism, what, how, and why. These words, normally, this is how our simple mind asks for anything that when you think about something, when you want to question anything, usually you first starting like what, how, and why. So my goal here tonight is challenge and present a different perspective and a manner to question things. And you guys are going to follow through and understand why. Anyone ever heard about this guy named Simon Sinek? Everyone ever heard? No? Okay, even better. This guy, he is a leadership coach. He's a speaker, and he have a method that he create. They call the Golden Circle. And he have used this method to inspire leaders and companies, like big companies, big multinational companies, to figure their core, their values, and the purpose, their vision, their mission. So his technique is used for different segments in the business, including marketing. And this is a part of a workshop that I have a talk couple weeks ago. Even though it's aimed for business, this workshop, they are preparing the people to become leaders, but not just a leader, but become a human again leader. Because nowadays in corporations, everything is very fast-paced. People want productivity, and they are eliminating the human perspective. They are not treating people like a treat. So this new training, this new coaching is to prepare people to become like a human leader. So on the end of the workshop, we are giving this challenge to live and apply what was teaching to us on our personal lives. And I'm going to explain you guys better. So I just want to give a brief of what this golden circle is. Pretty much is not like opinion. He say is a biology, which ties to our philosophy of our doctrine. And he have mentioned that its principles are deeply grounded in the tenets of human decision-making. How the golden circle work maps perfectly with how our brain works. So like I say before, normally we question and we start to rationalize things starting with what, how, and why. And his technique is we need to starting from inside out. You need to starting with why, how, and what. And change the whole perspective. That change the whole way how you see things. If you apply why first, because why is going to give you the purpose, why you're doing something. And the challenge, like I say, going out, you have until the next meeting, you come back and say how you apply this gold circle, this technique on your personal life. So I came to the Kssf Spiritist week on a weekend right after the training. This was on a Friday. And they have a very special place in this house. I call the VIP place. There's an booth outside where you sit when you do the translations and the interpreter for the lectures. So I was there doing these Susanna Simon's Let Your Light Shine lecture. I was translated the lecture. And I have in my back mind, okay, I have to come with this challenge. I have to make it up now for my next meeting, for my training. And while I was inside the booth translating her lecture, she stopped me. She said something, and I will later on share with you guys what sparked inside me. And I say, you know what? I have my homework right now. I'm going to apply the why, how, what in Spiritism after I listen to her. So that made me going home, going back 5 years ago to my journals, to my diaries, and starting to look for my notes when I first walked into the Spiritist Center. That's how long I've been here. I call myself the neo-Spiritist. But this is not just for people, they are like the new and Spiritism doctrine. I hope people they born, raised in a doctrine, they've been in a doctrine for a long time, be able to apply this too, because it's always good for us to revisit ourselves. It's part of our growth and evolve and evolution. So now that I debrief what it is about, I will show you guys. Then I have to go back and do my study, prepare for this challenge. And this book, Change Lives, by Heather Fonseca, this is the second book that I bought here. This was April 2016 that she signed off this book for me. And this book, they have a very simple language. It's in English, but they're very simple. And they give us the doctrine, reasons, explain the doctrine. They tell us what the Spiritism is. And I'll confess one thing to you guys. When you first start and come to the Spiritist Center, and I will be now introduced to the Kardec works, and I'm telling you, I'm a book person. I read. And my husband, he like a joke. He called me a lifetime student because if I could have been just studying, don't work at all. But I like reading. But I confess, the books is intimidating. Kardec's book, because it's big. And they have their more complex language. So sometimes you avoid to read those books because you feel intimidated. So with this book, it was my first introduction to the Spiritism. I was new, everything was a lot of information, a lot of things starting being like, oh, this makes sense. Wow. I have the aha moments. After that, the debrief, all these informations and all these things that are floating in my head, I was prepared to go starting reading now the Book of Spirits and the book with the mediumship books and the Gospel according to the Spirit. But I have already kind of give myself a set mind, prepared, and I lost the intimidation. So I just want to leave this tip with you guys. That's a really good book to starting understand about the doctrine. So my why, which is my purpose, what make me take Spiritism so deeply and wanna understand this doctrine, is starting with the question number 4 from the Spiritist book, where they ask, where can you find proof of a God existence? And the answer was, in the action that you apply to all your science that is not affected our cause. Followed by the Kardec's comment, to believe in God, one has only to look at the works of creation. Like many people, they are growth in different religions, such as Catholic or the evangelical religion. We are being sometimes introduced to a God they are punished. They are, if you sin, you go to hell, or if you do not obey God, you're gonna, fail in your life. You're gonna pay. All those intimidation. You were raised to fear God in the sense. And when I came to the Spiritism, I learned about a new God. It's the same God, but a God that is love, a God that love me, love everybody, and they put us here not to punish us, but to us evolve. And they starting feel good, this information, because I have a lot of conflict in my mind my whole life. Don't know, I really didn't accept a lot of things. Even I got to throw out the Kardecian when I was 10 years old because I asked a lot of questions. But because one time you have a talk about the creation or the evolution, then I started asking questions. I think, the person is not prepared to answer my questions. And I kind of got in trouble, and I still carry on those things with me. I still always have this, so I have to, something have to make it. I have to find the answers somewhere until I was introduced to the Spiritism, until I was introduced to the Kardecian, to the doctrine, which is our philosophy, our religion, and our science, which they put all those things together. And that make a lot of sense for me. So here he continues to say, the universe exists, so it's a cause. To doubt the existence of a God is to deny that every effect has a cause. So in Spiritism, like I say, we gain clarity on creation, which is the intelligent creator, and the evolution is not opposite of the concept. So those things kind of sink in. So that's how I first started with the Spiritism and accept the doctrine and let the doctrine get inside me. Followed by the power of forgiveness. Not a long time ago, I delivered a speech here about forgiveness, how I've been working there and how the Kardecian doctrine helped me let go my past things that was I have to forgive the people that I have to forgive, that how I felt that people did me wrong, but in reality, they give me the understand that I am part of the situation, take accountability, and forgive. And not only forgive, but forgive, and I have the gratitude when you forgive because for the lessons that, you learn. So the power for forgiveness, the practice of forgiveness as well as a charity should receive your attention. Hurt and anger are still primitive feelings, so triggered by instinct. It's necessary to love even your enemy. So there's one of those first things, followed by this new God they are, love. And is the spirits exist? Yes, I was afraid of the spirits. I was I could not even think about, I want to deny my thoughts about, I'm afraid to see a spirit. I always thought myself, if I see a spirit, I'm going to run. I don't want to deal with the spirits. But then I was invited for the first open mediumship meetings here, and I was here watching, and at first time, I was I kept my eyes open to see if I want to see any spirit to fly around here. And then later on, I started understanding, the information sinking in. And of course, I'm no longer afraid of the spirits. If a spirit can appear to me, I'm going to say hi and bye and move on. Totally. I'm not afraid anymore. I'm going to tell you, I use sleep sometimes with the little a light. No more. Dark. Not afraid. Then reincarnation doctrine, which is the base of a doctrine, right? Spiritists believe in reincarnation as a form of a moral and intellectual improvement. So this is a part of back tied to the God, the love us, the creation, the principle creation. That make a lot of sense for me. Because if you don't have this opportunity to reincarnate, and if you just come here as is, and if I'm a really bad girl, I'm gonna die, I'm gonna go to the hell, like in my old mentality. And so what kind of God is that? So, and followed by the commitment to studies, which is, I really praise studies. Achieving evolution as well as an academic goal requires study, a lot of study. Through books and knowledge, it will exercise moral and intellectuality. Always, I'm going to praise the study. I'm going to tell you guys, here in Kssf, we have a class, like Wednesdays, Thursdays, Saturdays, and Sunday. You have those classes here for us to learn, so please take advantage of them. The charity practice. The maximum out of the charity, there is no salvation. The gospel, according to Spiritism, chapter 15, refers to the love of a neighbor that we must always practice through charity. That's something that only when you start in really giving out, that you really can understand that feels so good. You grow, and you not just help with someone they are in need, but I think you help yourself more than the person that receives. And finally, love. Love is a fundamental agent in the evolution of this world and the spiritists they are in. We must love God, our neighbors, and everything in our lives. Love the difficulties, the problems. Love the friends and the enemies. Difficult, but yes, we have to love our enemies too. Love the world. Love is a strong energy to transform the insides of our spirits. So we are not made of our experience, but love. We are made of love. We are here for love and to receive love and to give love. So love is the answer. Love is the medication. So it's sometimes easy to come here and read this, write this when you study, reading a book, and you can make a little note for yourself, so you can read it every day, so you remind yourself, yeah, love even your enemies. But come for time. You know how you love your enemies? It's a little trick here. They come with the forgiveness, because sometimes if you have someone you consider the enemy, you hold the feelings, so you have to have the gratitude for the lesson that we learn from the pain, and the love will come from the pain. This is someone that told me this long time ago, back in 2016. He's right there, Zito. Na Whole Food, I was eating, I have a lunch, and he told me that. I'll never forget that. This guy right there, Zito. Yeah. Remember that? So now let's go to how. How you do that? Remember that I said that I was in a VIP section here doing the translation for Suzanne Simões? So I went back, I played her lecture, and if you guys want to know exactly what I'm talking about, her lecture, it was the one, Shine Your Light, around 20 minutes. She's going to mention what I'm talking about. So, and that's how I have my aha moment. How you do that? How is the process to realize the why, which is the purpose, when making me be a spiritist? Those things that I mentioned to you guys, why I call myself a spiritist, right? For other reasons, but here's how we do that. So I'm going to quote her. The Spiritist doctrine helps us grow and develop and discover and utilize our own potentials that we do not know that we have. And she's mentioned that, okay, the 3 steps there. The moment that we arrive at the Spiritist house, so you enter the Spiritism. And here comes the second step, which is the moment the spiritualism begin to enter into us through the studies and readings. And that is the moment when you want to leave, you want to run, because we lose our peace, according to her. For example, we have a lot of a cry of a conscience, means that we are not on the right track, because we seem okay yesterday, today no longer okay, because I lost a peace momentarily. And she said this means that Spiritism begin to come into us when you have all this crisis moment because we're starting to receive a lot of information, and sometimes remain ignorant sometimes can be a bless, but well. And then the third step is finally is when the spiritualism begins to express it through us. It happens when you are convinced that we are immortal spirits. You get distracted by the Jesus message. It happened to me. And then we invited to make the path of peace. We force ourselves to seek the peace of a conscience. It gets to express through our efforts, small victories, many silent times, painful moments, but gradually the attitude change, which reflect in our relationship. The only thing I can say about that is, for me, it's a big compliment when my daughter or even my husband say, I don't know what you do in this place that you go, but you are much more pleasant person. You're a better person. You're more sweet. They give me all these compliments, and I feel very flattered. Honest, I feel very good about because, well, I feel that I've been put a lot of effort on myself. I've been invested on myself. So when those people that I love so much, they tell me that, oh, I see change. Oh, you easygoing. Oh, you don't snap anymore. Oh, you're very peaceful. All those things that I knew I have to work so hard on myself, it still feel really, really good. So thank you. Yeah, this is my husband here. Thank you to be so patient with me all these 13 years and let me go through my process. And finally, a what. A what is the result of the why. So we have when you change the question, when you change the order, so you find a purpose first, why you're doing this, why you come to the Spiritist Center, how you doing that, and now what are you doing here? For Spiritism, Jesus is the most perfect model of a human being. The God offers a guide. In the sense, Allan Kardec states that for man, Jesus is the kind of a moral perfection to which humanity can aspire on earth. We should do, follow Jesus, right? Jesus is a model. Jesus is a role model and who we want to follow his ways. Of course, you are far from be like Jesus, but we need to aspire no matter what. We need to aspire to acting like Jesus. Love like Jesus love, everybody. And the goal is, this is the goal. Now, this is the goal. Of course, again, it's not an easy thing, but that's why you are being given the many opportunity to reincarnate, but you don't have to wait, reincarnate over and over. You have the opportunity to learn, to study, to practice the charity, to love each other. Even the Kardec, he offered a definition of the true spirit is like one who can seek the change, morally strive to contain his evil tendencies, live the challenge of the difficult days we are going through in this moment of transition of the new age of regeneration of humanity. We make a commitment to fraternity, whatever it might appear as an opportunity. What pretty much you say, we cannot let it go opportunity. We have opportunities every day in our life, but sometimes you don't see. We're too busy with our work and with our house chores, and God is there with our mentors, of our angels. Show us things, give us opportunity to work on something. Like sometimes you're not gonna be able to do good for ourselves overnight, but we can choose one thing at a time and work on that. So, in conclusion, in addition to the work of the codification that gives credibility to the Spiritism, other facts such as the elaborating studies that we do here in the house, for example, and the other works around us that help inspire us, including many other arguments, can lead us to be Spiritists. Some arguments are dictated by the heart, others by reason. Again, this is my experience that I share. Everybody have their own journey, Everybody have their own reason, and everybody is here for different reasons, and everybody came here, I say, they have something they bring in here. Everybody going through different situations in life, but what I really wanna, the message that I wanna give it to you guys is to find your purpose, why you are here. Not just because you are here because, oh, it's a trend. Like I heard like last week that at one point, I never knew that, but somebody told me this last week, at one point in Brazil was very fancy and chic to say, oh, I'm a spiritist. I think it was something about because all the actors and actresses from the global channel, it was everybody was a spiritist, so people say everybody want to be a spiritist. And this is something that I heard last week, and I was like, yeah, well, I never heard that. But what I want to say is to you guys, find your own purpose, why you're here, why you chose to be spirits, why. So the argument that what is the argument that lead you to be spiritualism? We need to have an answer to give it to ourselves. And anyone who asks us the above questions. Don't you think? That was my message that I want to leave it to you guys. To challenge yourself to do the homework. Perhaps change the order of the questions. And if you guys are I can go back to the slide and leave the link for the Simon. You guys can watch how he's playing the gold circle, how you apply on a business model. But like I said, the workshop base is for you to apply this in your life or anything in your life. So that is my message. I will go back to the link. You guys, if you guys are interested, you guys can now take a picture and I'll go watch there. And I something I really recommend. And that's it. That's all I have to say for tonight. Thank you so much.